Peace. My name is Korah Allah, originally from Master Victory, now why? I brought knowledge to divine equality, Delaware. I was just telling the guard on the train about this because you met the guard coming down there. I said, I came up to Nawa, I saw the guard colleague down. Like I said, a year earlier, that's my man Kevin K. A year earlier, this is my man Reno. Now this is colleague and this is Abu. So I'm like, yo, God, I need lessons. He's like, all right, God. He's like, I'm like, God, I'm in Delaware and all that. He's like, I ain't gonna be able to come back up here everywhere. He's like, God, I got you, God. I'm gonna give you all 120. He's like, now listen, you ain't supposed to give anybody all 120, but because you went down, I'm gonna give it to you. So that's peace. I got the all 120. So I started looking through and I was like, I got the same reaction as everybody who ever saw the lessons, especially if you got them all at one time. You're like, there's no way I'm going to be able to know all of this. It's impossible. Why? Because we're not taught to learn. You feel me? So I got the lessons. First thing I did was come down to the school. I walked in, I saw the guy Naheem, and his glasses. He was Naheem, sitting in the chair. I said, peace, God. He said, peace. I said, God, listen, I live in Delaware. As far as I know, there ain't no guards in Delaware. Okay? I just got the all 120 from the guard, so I can study and I can learn, you know what I mean? Take a look at my lessons, tell me, are these peace for me to study? And he went through the whole thing. He was like, yeah, God, these peace, God. He's like, where you going, God? I said, Delaware, G. Ain't nothing out there. He's like, all right, God, go, study your lessons, God. I was like, peace. I left. And I continued the same regiment that I told you about, 10 o'clock at night. Except now I had 120. But the guards taught me how to learn. Khalid told me how to study the lessons, lesson at a time. So I started with my math. I wasn't reading all the other degrees and everything. Of course you skim. Right. You say, damn, I can't wait till I know that right there. You know what I mean? But I was like, okay, stay with my math. And from reading the other books and learning different things, I knew once I got to my math, I learned all my degrees in 2 ways. Really 3 ways, but 2 primarily. One is for the mind, which has no touch, no emotion, no feelings. The other one is for the body, which has the feelings, emotions, and mind. So when I looked at knowledge, wisdom, understanding, Ghost, freedom, power, family, equality, God, build, destroy, born, and the cipher, everything was looked at in a mind frame and then in a physical frame. So I got both aspects, and I could bring those 2 together to bring forth a supreme understanding. Now, like I said, I had 120 God, but I didn't know 120. There was no other gods that was around. So I was running wild with it, G. Honestly. All the brothers that I ran with, Glenn Thompson, Jeff Morale, Jason, Jamil, they all heard about it. 2 of them wasn't receptive, the other 2 were. So I started giving them lessons and I started teaching them. I could only give them math because that's all I had. That's all I knew. Right. For myself, it wasn't all I had, but that's all I knew at the time. So I just kept studying. I had the first universal rally in Delaware in '87. And you know how many people was there though?
How many people are?
Me. So I built myself. At the rally. It wasn't the first rally I'd been to because once I got degrees, I was coming to now on the weekends. Because, me and my moms, we from New York. Delaware's on. Every weekend we was in New York. So I was in New York here at the school. I was in New York building with the guards. You know what I mean? Then I started going to Powell, to Philly. So I started getting in touch with a lot of guards out there. And then, once I started building and stuff, I started teaching. I taught a lot of brothers and sisters, and the only brothers and sisters that I can tell you that's from that day that I recall that's still around right now, and guards and others know her from Divine Equality, is Shah Queen. You know what I mean? But there's a lot of brothers and sisters in Delaware that I taught now. But see, that's like the first cycle of Delaware. Because in '87, I went away to college. I went to Western College in Dover. That's when I started running into guards at Del State. And going to the mall down in Dover and running into some guards down there. But they was all from the college. There was no guards that resided in Delaware. You feel me?
If Mecca did this.